Hello, everybody. I hope you're well. Now, today I am so incredibly excited. I have the most amazing woman joining me, all the way from Florida. This is Tasha Chen, and she runs the business, The Science of Getting Rich Academy. So, Tasha, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's 8 a.m. here for me, and I think it's a couple hours later in the day for you. So we are experiencing the benefits of a global community here on this.
We certainly are, and I really appreciate you coming on because we spoke last week and you were telling me about a little bit about what it is that you do in your community, and we'll get to it a little bit later, but there's a challenge that you're running starting the 1st of January. So I know you have changed things around because I know you're flying out today, and I've changed things around so that we can get this recorded and get it out to the community so that we can maybe even just help 1 or 2 women, hopefully a lot more, with the science of getting rich. Now, obviously when we spoke before, we were talking about being rich, and the perception that a lot of people have about the money and wealth. And I'm probably more interested in wealth, because wealth to me is not just about the money. It's about wealth of happiness, wealth of health, wealth of well-being, wealth of emotions, and obviously the finances fall under there as well. So could you tell everybody a little bit about the science of getting rich and what it is that you do?
Absolutely. I'll piggyback on what you just said about, it's about wealth for you. One of the things that we start all of our programs off with is having each person define rich for them. And as you said, we can help people attract and create a lot of money, financial well-being. But what would be the point if we don't have our health to enjoy it? We don't have people we love to, take excursions with. We don't have those that we care about to bestow upon because we have all this money. Like, really, the money and being rich financially is kind of void without really being wealthy in life. And invariably, the people that we attract into our community, you know how this works. It's energetic, right? So they are typically a reflection of our values. And rich and wealth, for me, it's why we define everything by health. So we write intentions when we start the program. Not only do you define what is rich for you, but in the context of health, relationships, spirituality, your spiritual expansion, and yes, we do define it by financial well-being, because that is the currency we use in our society to enjoy all these things, right? So we created this business, The Science of Getting Rich, and I'm not sure how much we'll be able to get into how I came across this and my background, but I really think I'm a little genius here because I found this thing that worked for me in a very dark period in my life. I got the book, The Science of Getting Rich, from a couple who, for me, were the very first time in my adult life that I saw a physical representation of what having it all looks like. So they were wealthy, they were happy, they were healthy, they had, they lived on the ocean. I mean, they truly, it wasn't just that I'd gone to their mansion on the beach and it was, wow, look at all these things. I looked at this couple and I saw everything that in my mind defined success, well-being, wealth, true wealth. And at the time, has been said, everything that you see here is because of this book. And it was The Science of Getting Rich. And I was at, we've all been here, the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the darkest night of the soul, and got this book. And sure enough, like most human beings, I took the book that this guy literally said, here is the answer to everything you need. And I promptly went home and put it in a drawer, right? And then I just got a little bit worse. a little bit worse, a little bit more manageable. And then I reached for the book, like when I was really at the end of the end. And took that book, read every single line of it, started living by the principles, saw the results that were being created in my own life. And I had at the time an opportunity to serve women entrepreneurs. I led a chapter for an organization. And I saw that this was a void. This was this thing that they needed. They truly desired success, wealth, abundance. But there was just this one thing that, it was kind of like having found the golden goose and you've gotten your own egg and you're like, I can see you need your own golden goose. So here we go, And that's what it was for me. I started sharing the principles of the book. I did it in a format that worked for me. And the next thing I knew, I was in a business,
Wow.
teaching other people how not only, because we've all read great books, right? I have a library outside my office of books that I've read. And when I closed the book, it's like, that was really cool. There were some really good nuggets in there. But do you change your life by living the principles continuously? And that's what we did. We created a business to show people how to live the principles of the science of getting rich.
And I mean, I read the book. It's by Wallace D. Wattles for anybody that's not come across it. And it's quite an old book. I mean, some of the language that's used is if you compare it to modern day books, is quite outdated. But like you say, it's the golden nuggets that go through the book that really make it one of the best books that are out there. And obviously some of these great old books are really coming back into the forefront of everybody's mind at the moment. Now, I am fully aware that you've been running about 4.5 years, and during that time you've helped generate, with working with clients, an extra $33 million in revenue for your clients. Is that right?
That is right. Yes, that is right. It still blows my mind. That is a big number. And last week, I did a webinar on Tuesday with one of my clients. So she has, her own business, and I was the host. I was a guest on her show. And as she was doing the introduction and sharing that we created over $33 million, she said, and oh, by the way, Tasha, you're going to need to increase that number because I haven't told you my numbers yet this year. So, and it's several million.
Wow.
So as much as I share the $33 million, that's just the reported numbers, right? Yeah. There are people who've gone through our program who don't voluntarily offer what it is that they've created. And even though that number is meant to impress upon people what's possible when you practice and live what's called the certain way in this book, like the financial abundance that becomes possible. And I want to impress that upon people. What really blows my mind, and I'm Jamaican, so I always put this in context. There is an international joke about Jamaicans working really hard and having 3 and 4 jobs, and I go along with the joke because it's true. Like, hard work was my DNA. Like, at a cellular level, I truly believe that was the only way to create. And so as much as the 33 million is a great big number to say and to impress upon people, truly the bigger accomplishment for me is that I've shown people how to create without hard work. And that for me is a legacy. Like, that is, written in my eulogy, like, Tasha did this. We truly have the power within us to create without this incredible efforting and work and stress and anxiety and just going back to our power. And 33 million is awesome, but relationships are being attracted, health being restored, people's spiritual alignment are advancing. those things to me are equally as impressive as the money, you know? That's really where the true wealth as an outcome shines.
Yeah, most definitely. And I know from myself with working with clients, obviously I work on changing some of the outdated stories that we have on a variety of different aspects of our lives. And one of the biggie for most female entrepreneurs that I come across is the outdated money story. This on repeat, you know, so there's I could come across a couple of things. Either female entrepreneurs who give, and because they enjoy giving so much, they don't necessarily feel that they should ask to be paid what they're worth. Or alternatively, they have no idea what it is that they're worth. They're still playing quite small, and they're keeping those really small money stories, you know, or they're looking around and they're going, well, I can't charge any more than them, without even knowing what experience and qualifications and life skills those individuals have. Now, is that one of the key issues that people have when they come to you?
Yes, yes, yes. And again, because everyone that we attract is a mirror of where we've been or where we are, I have so much compassion for people in this state of being. And you know, you and I know the law of attraction is so attractive, right? It promises that you can have everything you want easy, you know, just like sit and think and it will come. And it's beautiful. I love the law of attraction. And unfortunately, the people that popularize the law of attraction, there's some things that I think they still have some work to do, which, you know, is left up to people like you and me. And that is, you can attract and think of yourself as a magnet, like, and the strength of your magnetism is a 1 or a 10. 10 is like you're on supercharged attraction. Well, you can attract anywhere from 1 to 10. And when you have powerful stories, you attract at a 10. When you have limiting beliefs that are still at work, you know, like you said with your clients, the lack of self-worth, the lack of value, the comparison, the I'm not good enough, all of that, it just brings your magnetism down closer to like a 1 or a 2. So are you going to attract things? Absolutely. But I want to be at a 10, and I want everybody around me to be at a 10. And so part of the work that we do in presenting the principles of the science of getting rich, which in essence is the law of attraction, is we have to first work on the beliefs, right? And so absolutely, that's one of the things. We have a process that we take people through in our 120-day program. We literally spend a week on just beliefs, like limiting beliefs that we need to shed. And I promised I would share with you, you know, and you can probably see this in your work. There's 5 top ones that we're always working with. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Number 1, I can't afford it. I don't deserve it, which is really, I'm not worth it. Right? I'm not good with money. I'm not good with money. And that is a belief, you know, that people operate from. It's hard. To make money is hard. To make lots of money is hard. And then kind of in alignment with the I don't deserve it and I'm not worth it is that I just don't have what it takes, whether that's the education, the opportunities, the know-how, the connections. I don't have what it takes to make massive amounts of money, right? And so those 5 beliefs, we're always working through letting them go, just allowing them to shed. And we've been doing a lot of work, especially at the end of the year, to help people just let those go, like kind of start anew in 2018, you know, let the old beliefs go and then let's create some new ones for 2018. So yes, working continuously to shed the limiting beliefs and the old stories that no longer serve us, so that we're all like at a 10 out of 10 in our ability to attract.
hmm And it's funny because if I think back to when I first heard about the law of attraction, I was given a CD and I popped it in my car by my old boss. And literally, I listened to that for almost 4.5 hours. I ended up pulling to the side of the road. And
Wow.
the thing that I think that they missed out on is the fact that there's a couple of key ingredients, and for me it was about desire and action,
Yes.
and also not pushing against it, because all too often in my previous business, I grew a successful business, but it always felt like I was pushing up water up a hill with regards to the
Yeah.
finance side of things. And then this year I launched a new business. The resistance wasn't there. The desire and action was definitely there. And within 24 hours, I'd generated roughly about £6,500, which, to be honest with you, in my previous business, it probably took me about 3.5 years to start generating that on a regular basis. And I just
Wow.
wonder how much of fear gets in the way of people receiving what is destined for them and living the life and experiencing the type of wealth that they want to experience.
I want to talk a little bit about fear from my personal experience, right? Because I just said that the people we serve are either a mirror of who we are today or where we've been.
Yeah.
And in talking about the belief, specifically when it comes to fear, in my adult life, my period of like gripping fear was right towards the end of my marriage and the beginning of my single life, right? Because what happened was my entire support system was ripped from under me. I went from the comfort of having my parents provide for me my entire life to getting married and having a husband do that, to, oh, by the way, overnight, that's gone, figure it out on your own. And fears I didn't even know I had, because it's nice to not be fearful. It's easy to not be fearful when you're taken care of.
Yeah.
Like I always thought, oh, I'm courageous. Well, it's easy to be courageous when you have a full support system in place.
Yeah.
And so when that was yanked from under me, I found fears that had obviously been there lurking all along, just never having, the opportunity for me to become aware that they were in existence. And I found myself just gripped by the fear of, will I be able to have a successful business? Can I start a brand new business, newly divorced, no income, 2 kids to care for? Oh, by the way, I have no idea what this business is going to be. Right? I just knew I had the desire to be an entrepreneur. So can I make it work? Can I make it work? And I found fears in my abilities, my connections, my finances, my ability to create an income, fears about, am I really worth it? I have to tell you, I don't think I shared this with you on my last call. But here is how fearful I was of, do I really even have anything to offer? I'm so afraid people are going to reject me that I created a 90-day accountability coaching program and charged 90 days, right? And charged each person $25.
What?
I literally
90 days.
90 days of accountability.
Oh my goodness.
If I would have at least just said, just give me a percentage of what you create, I would have made so much more. But the thing, that I look back at that and just smile is, that was simply a reflection of how afraid I was to say, I believe I can do this. I believe I can create results for you. I believe it's worth it. I was so afraid to say that I literally, and truthfully, I was going to do it for free. And my best friend said, if you don't charge them, I'm never speaking to you again. And so I came up with There's no way you can say no to me, like number, and did it. And so you're right. The fear, and now my reframe, which I want to offer it to everyone, my reframe is, I realize that fear is simply, it's like a little knock on the door that says something incredible is about to happen.
Yeah. Yes.
Something incredible is going to happen. You've never experienced it before, so it's a little unknown to you. But just like if you're on a first date and you think you like the guy and you're going to meet him and you're a little nervous and it turns out great and you get married and you live happily ever after, that little moment is just the nervousness, So fear for me is just like, I love it. I'm like, whoa, something amazing is going to happen. It's such a reframe that empowers us. And most people, you're right, are living from the fearful state of blocking incredible things from coming because they succumb to the fear, versus they step into it and say, wow, this must mean something incredible is going to happen. Let me go for it. So you're right. How many people are not receiving because they've made fear mean something disempowering, something bad, It's the work that we have to do to help everybody just become aware. The fear thing is not, it's just what you make it mean. And you've made it mean something that doesn't make you move forward, right?
And all too often people don't really know what they're fearful of. I mean, one of the things that you've just said there was you were fearful of rejection. So you charged £25 or $25, which was an amount that people couldn't say no to. But the problem with doing things like that is that we then find our ideal clients are not interested because they look at a 90-day program for $25 and they go, really, what value is that?
What's not be there?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What kind of quality is that? And yes, you would have known that the quality was absolutely superb, but other people looking in would just look at that and just go, no way, for $25, no. And
even the people that did do it, how did they show up really? For $25, it's like, well, if I miss it today, no big deal. If I don't do what I said I would do, no big deal. It's $25. That's 3 cups of coffee, Really, it's a disservice all the way around.
Exactly. And when you pay, I mean, I'm looking back and I'm just thinking this year I've won £20,000 worth of coaching, which is slightly different. But if I look at the money that I've spent on coaching and personal development, I think the most I've ever spent is about £10,000 on a coach. And I turned up, I played full out. I wanted to become the best that I could possibly be. If I'm paying that kind of money, it's essential that I'm playing full out and I get everything that I meant to get. And I go to somebody because they're an expert and I know they're going to give me value for money. And it's stupid not to give them that kind of money because of the value that they give. And I think we sometimes get into this cycle. And all too often, this little cycle of, and those 5 things that you're talking about, I can't afford it. I remember as a child, my parents would go, I'd say, could I have that? And they'd go, oh no, we don't have money for that. Oh no, we can't afford that. And a lot of these things, we're taking on other people's interpretation of money rather than our own.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely. And I went to dinner last night with some fabulous women, and one lady there was sharing, my childhood was so, and I want to be there for my kids 100% all the time. And someone said to her, your children are not you. Like already, their stories are so different than yours. And so you're absolutely right. How many of us are living the decisions our parents made, the agreements that they made or other family members made, I teach my kids with the I can't afford it thing, and I teach in my program, a more empowering thought is I can't afford anything. I just like that I have a choice. I like that I can choose. I can't afford everything, I may not necessarily choose to buy it all right now. Maybe if I chose to buy it all in this moment, I may not be able to have everything. But what I really like, I can afford anything I want. Sure, I could go buy an absolute luxury vehicle and not eat, not have a roof over my head, not do all these other things, but it doesn't mean I can't have a luxury vehicle. I can, right? It just means there are other choices that I don't get to make. So what I love is the choice, right? But I never, and I tell my children, if you like something, don't say, my son wants, or my daughter, I think, said, there's something they wanted, and they're like, I don't know if we can afford it. I go, no. Come and tell me there's something you would like. Maybe give me a few ideas of how you think you could get it, and we can have an open conversation. But I can't afford it is never allowed. That's just not one of the options that's available. So yeah, living by other people's stories.
Oh, most definitely. And funny enough, I had this conversation with my little boy this week. Last week, actually, we were on the train going to work, going to school for him, and he said, "Mummy, are we rich?" And it's just like, okay, well, my mind's going 100 miles an hour trying to work out why he would be asking this question, and how do you answer it? Because I don't want my children to perceive richness as we've said before, all about the money. So I said to him, well, what do you think? And he said, well, yes, I'm rich. And I was like, okay, so what makes you think you're rich? And then he started listing a few things. Money was in there, but it wasn't top priority. And then he was comparing it to other people in his school as to whether or not they were rich. And I don't know what triggers a little 9-year-old's brain to start asking those types of questions. But how we reply to them makes a huge difference, because that then becomes embedded within them, normally as part of their belief or their value system, that they will then take through the rest of their lives unless they actively seek out to change it.
Right. Yeah, we have the incredible power within us, and we always say, right, our parents did the best they could, and we're operating at such a different level in this day and time that we have such an opportunity. Our children are already far more evolved than we are at this age of our lives, and so, but we still have that very impressionable role that we play in their evolution. And so we have a responsibility. I say that's why I'm your parent. Like, I'm not here to alter your journey, but I am definitely here to be as much of a guide as I possibly can,
Now, obviously, we're coming up to the end of this year. 2017 has been a phenomenal year for me, as I know it has for you and many people within the Women of Contribution group. As we start to prepare for 2018, I'm just wondering what kind of things we need to discard and let go of in 2017, and how we can start to gear up to having the wealthiest 2018 that we possibly can.
So I did an intention setting call because as we're doing this recording today, it's the new moon. And so every month before the new moon, I guide people through setting intentions. And this one was a little different because the download that I got from Spirit in preparation for this call was 2017, if we all look back and ask the question, what was this year preparing me for? All the events of 2017, like if I just look at everything and I look back at kind of like a preview of the coming attraction, right? It's clear we all needed to do some work. We needed to expand in our capacities. We needed to release some things. We needed to get to another level. It's all been about preparation, 2017. And so to answer your question about what can we do right now, I think the first thing is looking back at all the experiences of 2017 and saying, based on the information it's giving me about where I'm going, what am I going to need to shed? Yes. What am I going to need to release and let go? And really be honest conversations with ourselves and say, I'm going there, the weight of this behavior, this pattern, this thought, this habit, this action is not going to allow me to get there. So I got to be where I am right now at the end of this year, bring awareness to that, and just let it go. And I did that this morning. I sat for 30 minutes and I just filled my mind with what are all the things I'm going to need to let go, just let go of. And then I look at 2018. If we really are being prepared for something, I look at it like this. We've been going to a little spring with an 8-ounce glass to fill it, right?
Yeah.
So we go in with an 8-ounce glass, and that's the last 2000. I would say the last 5 years for me has been like, this is the end of a 5-year cycle for me. So I've been going with my little 8-ounce glass, and I'm being filled up, and I'm so happy, and I think that's such abundance. But what I see in my coming attraction, and just me, but everyone, we're all evolving at the same pace, is we're going to be like standing in front of like Niagara Falls. Like that's what it is, going from a little tiny spring to like a waterfall. And you can choose to go back with your little 8-ounce glass, right? If that's for you, so be it. For me personally, 2018, my preparedness for that, these last 2 weeks, is all about saying, expand my capacity to receive. Like, give me like a container size, like massive, something massive to go to this waterfall. So I receive everything that's intended for me. And I think that in terms of preparing for the new year, it's really being intentional and saying, I am consciously choosing and asking the universe to expand my capacity to receive. Because absolutely everything that's in store for me is there, but if my container is still small, I'm only going to get what can fit in that container. Therefore, it's my responsibility to use my free will and say, give me as much as I can take, expand my capacity. And that's what I'm encouraging everyone to do. Really prepare for 2018 by saying, I want a bigger container. Help me build a bigger container so I receive all that's intended for me.
No, it's interesting that you say, because I've been talking about 2017 was really a warm-up for me. It was just to start, if I was thinking about a race, I was just starting to limber up, I was meeting new people, I was setting the scene, I was getting clear on my clarity and my focus and my vision. And 2018 is all about taking that next stride, taking that next step, to play big, to stop playing small, to stop limiting ourselves with limiting to beliefs and values and stories, and actually embrace the fullness and the potential that we have as human beings and female entrepreneurs who are here to make a difference in this world. And it just warms my heart to hear you say that. And it just excites me, because that's one of the main reasons for inviting you on here, is because I know what you're planning. And I know that come the 1st of January, people can set off their year in the right way, in the right focus. So why don't you share with the group what you're planning on the 1st of January, because I have already signed up for it. I'm incredibly excited, and I know the value that it will bring to so many people. So fire away.
Okay, so I think that we should all start the year with a bang. Like, we should start the year in the energy and the vibration that says, this is what I want my entire year to be like. And I've created what I call a money attraction challenge, because let's face it, the thing that allows us to enjoy life to its fullest is a financial means to do so. And one of the things that I think stops people from being in alignment to receiving more financially is they just have like we talked about, things they need to shed, or different ways they need to think about money, or more fun. We think about money as like paying bills, and it's like drudgery. It's like, oh geez, let me make enough money to pay the bill. I want to shift that entire paradigm and have us be in the experience of wealth. And what's really cool about this challenge is that for 7 days, we just get to play with money. We just get to have a fun time. Every day we get money to spend. We have specific things we're spending it on. And it's one of those things where people have the hardest time getting into a belief level that they don't have to work hard for money. Yeah. And it's hard to conceptualize. So by doing this challenge and literally just receiving money to play with, you can get in the imaginative state of, that's a really cool feeling. I kind of like that. I would like more of that, right? So for 7 days, every day we give money for people to spend. We have this incredibly energized Facebook group where people are just sharing, here's what I spent my money on, and here's what I did. And then we have I kind of say, I come to the playground to play. And so we're playing and we're doing the challenge. And then there are periods where we sit down and we actually have tips that will totally shift our relationship with money. But the approach is, let's play, and then we're going to take a break and have a little, serious conversation that shifts things for us. But it's all about starting the year off in the highest vibration to all things that make us feel good. And the start of that is money, right? Yeah. So for 7 days, one of the things that I like to do during the 7-day program, you asked me about these people that have created all this wealth in our program. I bring them on during the challenge, and I say, like one of the ladies I'm thinking of bringing on is the one I mentioned earlier. At my event in January, I gave everyone a blank check, and I said, write yourself a check for this year. And she wrote $1 million or more. She wrote herself a check for $1 million or more. And sure enough, like I told you on the call that we did, she said, oh, by the way, I need to update you because I've gotten, a couple million this year. Wow. And I want to show people what is the mindset that allows someone to have that level of belief that they can, with confidence and certainty, I'm going to write myself a check for $1 million and know it's coming. And so how do you adapt? How do you listen to somebody who's at that level of confidence about their attraction and adapt their way of being, learn from them? So it's going to be fun, lots of fun. I can tell you, if you want to change your money story, really kick the year off in high alignment. If, like you said, I think you said just now, 2018 for me is about growing big. It's expanding my capacity. And this is just a fun way to get in alignment with that. Right?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. And I love the what you said about the check. I mean, one of my favorite stories, and I'm sure you will be aware of it, and maybe some of our listeners will be, is Jim Carrey. He had a check that he carried in his wallet, and I think it was for $10 million.
10 million.
10 million, and he had it in his wallet, and every night he'd go up to Mulholland Drive, the nice places in California, in Los Angeles, and he would sit and he'd look at the big houses, and he would put the intention out for this 10 million, and it was without a doubt that he was going to give it. And I think it was it about 5 years in advance, I think he'd written the check, and it was nearer and nearer and nearer to the date. And he then got given, I think it was a down payment, or it might have been the full amount for Dumb and Dumber was 10 million that he got a check for. And it's just proof that actually these things can happen when you get in the right vibrational energy, when you get in an alignment, when you have not just a belief, but this that it is definitely going to happen, and without a shadow of a doubt, this is happening and this is being attracted into your life. that's when the magic happens. And that's what I've seen for myself this year. And it's a certain type of feeling. It's a really difficult thing to explain to people, but it's like, for me, and I'd love to know what you think, but for me, it's like peeking at your Christmas presents just before Christmas and seeing a glimpse of the potential of what could be in that box for Christmas. And that's what it feels like for me when you're in alignment, is you start to get these small peaks and windows of vision as to what the potential is. So, I mean, again, what would be your view on that?
So I want to share with everyone, this is my journal, and this is my journal from 2017. It actually just finished. And in the front of my journal, I have, and you might not be able to see it that clearly, but I have a list of 20 things, if you can see that, right? Mm-hmm. And so every year I just rip a page out and I make a list 1 through 20. And this is like my adult version of a Christmas list, right? So the way our kids, they make a list and they put it in the mail to Santa Claus or whatever they do, you know, or they give it to you, and what they do is it's like, here is my wish. I know I'm gonna get all or some of the things on this list, but the part that I love about that process, my son never says to me, Mommy, what are you gonna need to do so that I get those, you know, so that I get my present? Or God forbid, Mommy, what am I going to need to do so I get those presents? Never. Those questions never get asked. And that is the best analogy I can use for this process. You know, the front of my journal says, ask and it shall be given. And that's what it's like for me. I understand that the formula, this law of attraction that we all want to live from, requires asking. We have to ask. And that's what Jim Carrey did when he wrote his check, was he asked God, the universe, source, this is the amount that I'm asking for. And people, you know, if more people did that, we would be living in euphoria. You know, keep asking. And that's what it is like for me. I make these lists, they're all over my house. I do them all the time, but I feel like a little kid inside, because I'm like, I'm making this wish list. I have no idea when it's going to show up, how it's going to show up, who's going to bring it. You know, sometimes I don't get everything on my list, but I know if I got 18 out of 20 things that I had to do nothing to create, I'm a happy camper. You know, and that's what it's like. And one of the things that you said I want to point out, because it's so key. When we ask for something, when we make a request of the universe, or we express a desire, and a period of time goes by where it hasn't happened yet, we tend to become discouraged. So I encourage everyone in our community, in the work that we do, we actually keep journals for what I call evidence. And so we're constantly on the lookout for the little clues, and we document them, because it's not enough to just see it. Our minds are so, you know, here, there, and everywhere, it forgets. And then the doubt sets in and we go, but it hasn't happened, I'm not going to get it. But if you're documenting all the little clues that you're getting along the way, to me, my ego, you know, it's in black and white, like it's a fact. This happened. I want to create $1 million. And oh my goodness, I just had an opportunity to partner with somebody that could bring in 200,000. Now it's not, I don't have the $200,000 right now, but I just had a little clue that it's coming. And so I write that down, you know? So that's so important, to keep a watchful eye for the evidence of the coming attraction. So you stay in belief that it's happening. That's what it is. Jim Carrey didn't give up. He kept believing, and every little, I'm sure every audition, every little part that he got, everything was just a clue for him that it was on its way, you know, till the moment that he got it. So
and to be honest with you, we have a center in the brain called the RAS, the reticular activating system, which is kind of like Google. So you'd put in the search bar what it is that you're looking for, and your brain and your eyes and everything is searching for that particular thing. So writing down the evidence to back it up is reinforcing to our Google search bar that this is what we're looking for. We're looking for evidence, or we're looking for opportunities, or we're looking for things that would fulfill that need. It's like when you buy a red car and then you all of a sudden see loads of red cars on the road, which you hadn't seen before. So I think this keeping a track of your success, and even just a little bit of success or a little hint that that is on the way, is really, really important. But I think the other thing to say is actually acknowledging that sometimes we don't get everything that we desire, and there's a reason behind it. It is for our greater good, it is for the greater purpose, it is for our journey in this journey of life. And I think it's understanding that not everything should just be a tick list and we go, yep. Sometimes if we don't get those things, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yes. I always say, the universe is always saying, yes, here you go, you can have it. Not now, because I, as the supreme being the universe, knows better. Like there's something else you need before you can get that, or there's something else you have to do, or if I give it to you now, you're not even going to appreciate it, maybe. So it's either yes, not now, or something better. But the answer is never no.
No.
The answer is never no, you can't have it. It's either yes, now, or something better.
Yeah. So share with everybody when your latest challenge starts, how they can sign up for it, and what's included.
Okay, the challenge starts January 1st, so we're kicking off the year right then. Everybody's going to wake up from partying the night before, wake up to a lovely email that says, you have money, go spend it, And I love people always ask, you actually really go spend this amount of money? And no, it's not. It's just putting yourself in the energy of, I received this amount of money, what would I buy it on? And that's enough. The universe just needs to see you in the energy of receiving, and in the energy of what would I do with it, right? So we kick off January 1st, and for people to register, the challenge is free. And so you would go to moneyattractionchallenge.com. Money, the word attraction, challenge.com, all together. Get registered, and then we'll send a video, over the weekend before we get started, just to say, what are your intentions for the next 7 days? What do you want to attract as you're playing along with us? What do you want to create? Bring your awareness again to what money stories you might want to be releasing as we go through this process, and what new beliefs you want to create. So we set intentions. Like everything I do, I set intentions before we begin. So we write intentions over the weekend. Monday morning, I think Monday is the 1st of January, you will get an email, and then we jump in our Facebook group, and it's just like a frenzy of spending and high energy. And we do that every day for 7 days. And one of the things that we do is we have a call every morning. Now, you've brought me the gift of international participants from all different time zones. So the calls are all recorded. We'll probably do Facebook Live, which means it will, will still be there at whatever time of day everyone's able to access it. But it will be 8 a.m. Central Eastern time, right? So this in Florida, the time in Florida, 8 a.m. every morning. We'll jump on. I'll do a quick 15 to 20 minute tip and interview of one of our clients that have created massive success. And then we'll just go on about the day, having fun, staying in high vibration. So that's it. Starts January 1st. It goes through Sunday. And then I think we're going to do a bonus day on Monday. Like the last hoorah.
Fantastic. Well, obviously we will put all the details underneath this video anyway. And what would be really, really good, and I know you're going to be exceptionally busy after the challenge, but what would be really good is if you could come into the group and, see how everybody got on, see what successes that they had, and, be able to help out that way. That would be amazing. And it would be great to see how we all get on.
Well, and what's really neat is that you already have your own organic group, right? You know, you've already created your own community through Women of Contribution. And so whatever the number of ladies that participate in the challenge in my group will be fantastic. But I just love coming back to kind of home for everyone over here. And so I put it in my phone for like 2 weeks every morning to check in with everyone that's here and keep inviting, and also just, you know, seeing, just giving an extra layer of support, because this group is so special, and the intention that you have for this community that you've created, it's a different energy, and I want to honor that by coming here to play where everyone is, you know. So yes, I absolutely will.
That would be wonderful, because let's be honest, we can all show up and we can all contribute and make an impactful difference in the world in our own way. But actually, when we generate more finances, we can contribute in ways that we never even imagined were possible. And that to me is really important. So, you know, this is one aspect of being a woman of contribution and showing up and contributing. And I think is quite an important one. So thank you so much for taking the time out. And I am so excited to be joining you on the 1st of January. And like I say, I will post below the video how people can sign up for the challenge and make sure that they're there ready to go on the 1st in your group and receive their emails and action all the bits that need actioning. But thank you so much, and have the most amazing relaxing holiday over the Christmas period, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thank you so much for making this happen. I know we had to play with schedules and calendars, but thank you for making it happen. Thank you for what you do. I truly speak from my heart when I say the person that can create this kind of space with the intention that you have behind it is incredible to me. It's incredible. And I just want to take a moment to thank you, wish you a wonderful holiday, and on behalf of all the women that you serve and that you show up to get us all to be interviewed and to expand your community, you know, just thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you take care, Tasha, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.
All right. Take care, Kezia. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.